So we are now in chapter 10 entitled Justice and Fairness, Promoting the Common Good. So this is the part 2 of the chapter 10. So critique of Rawls' principle. So criticism plays a vital role in making someone's work improve and be successful. Criticism shows that an intent purpose of something in better sense. So, to make general justice as fairness be understandable, so criticism is done for the betterment of its principle in order to improve and correct and delete such items that is not necessary. So the second paragraph is one criticism about Rawls' justice and fairness principle is that the principle does not tolerate religious beliefs that teaches their followers that men and women are unequal. This criticism will disagree with Rawls' principle of equality of basic liberty and equal opportunity. So, but critics tells that Rawls contradict when it comes to religious aspect that men and women are not equal. So this is not fair. This is not fairness at all. Instead, each person is to be granted an equal rights to the most extensive basic liberty compatible with a similar liberty for everyone else. So on the third paragraph, it says that Rawls' difference principle is also a controversial find. It states that the greatest benefit must go to the least advantage. People who are categorized as conservative and free markets critique that it is unjust to possess something from the most fortunate person of what they have earned and redistribute it for the gain of the least fortunate people. So it says here that for the distribution of wealth, Rawls' principle did not agree in equal distribution to the very least people of the society. So in distributive justice, so it is a concept that concerns the nature of a socially just allocation of goods in a society that includes the available quantities of goods, the process by which goods are distributed, and the subsequent allocation of the goods to society members. So, people should be given equal opportunities and equal access to everything like personal needs like goods, water, and it must be distributed equally in a group. Norm, as defined in the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a principle of right action binding upon the members of a group and serving to guide, control, or regulate proper and acceptable behavior. So, in norm, basically it is the right action or the responsibility to guide, control, and accepting behavior of all members in a society. So there are 5 common types of distributive norms according to Forsyth. So first one is equality, equity, power, need, and responsibility. So the first one is equality. So equality refers to the notion that all group members should be given an equal share of the rewards and costs regarding of their inputs. So inequality, equality or sameness, it is the state of being equal, especially in his status, rights, and opportunities. So it is giving everyone the same thing, or treating everyone the same. So for the given example on page 190, so it is a right of every child to have a free and quality education. Therefore, education must be equally distributed regardless of gender and race. So we all know that education is free for all, no matter what your status are you in, because we have the rights to study even when we are poor or rich. The second one is equity. So equity is the notion that a group member's input should affect its outcome, or a member's outcome should be based on its input. An individual should receive correspondingly with what he or she has given. So equity naman, so equity or fairness, so it is the quality of being fair and impartial. So therefore, an individual should receive correspondingly with what he or she has given. So for the given example, it is equitable to look at the case of medical doctors whose cost of expense and time of study before being a certified professional earns a fairly high enough salary for practicing their profession. So, on a simpler example, it is also equitable to say that a student's grade is based on his performance. So, on the given example, in the case of medical doctors, of course, they have to sacrifice more money and also the time. So, to have a license. So, if they strive, they were given fairly based on their performance. So the third one is power. So power is a norm at play when the authority is receiving more compared to the members of the group. So a person or organization that is strong or influential in a particular context. And on the given example, in a corporate setting, the boss or the company owner gets more compensation salary than his workers. So therefore, we can say that the distributive norm at play in such setting is power. So, on the given example, so the boss is the highest position and he gets more salary because he is the founder of that business. So therefore, he controls the money. So, another example is, if I'm a captain ball in a basketball team, of course, I'm soaked in the game because I'm much better than them in terms of team play, strategies, and techniques. So, the fourth one is need. So, need is when the goods is distributed to the members of a group who needs it the most. So, need, it is expressing necessity or obligation to others. So, hindi ko na babasahin yung example. So, magre-relate na lang ako ng isang example. So, did you remember the Taal volcano eruption? So, syempre alam naman natin na sa sarili natin na nagbigay tayo ng tulong doon, ganyan din yung school natin. So binigay natin siya ng hindi sa pilitan dahil kailangan talaga nila yun dahil sila yung pinakanatamaan ng kalamidad na yun. The last one is responsibility. So responsibility is when the abundant members of a group shares their resources. So, in responsibility, it means to respond of abundant members. So, on the given example, egalitarian is a trend of thought in political philosophy. An egalitarian favors equality of some sort. People should get the same or be treated the same or be treated as equal in some respect. So, this is a principle that people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. So the people should get the same, treated the same or equal in everything. So we're now in state and citizens' responsibility. So the first one is taxation. According to Agulu, he stated that taxation is the most important source of revenue to the government. Owing to the inherent power of the government to impose taxes, the government is assured at all times of its tax revenue no matter the circumstances. These taxes are collected to use as a financial to the expenditure of the government. The expenditure of the government fundamentally includes social welfare programs for the citizens. So, taxation, it is a compulsory financial charge of some other type of levy impulse upon a taxpayer by a governmental organization in order to fund various public expenditures. So a failure to pay along with evasion or resistance to taxpayer is perishable by law. So, who will benefit for it? So, of course, the elderly or retired na. So, example niya na yung pension. So, yun nga, pag matanda na, kapag di na kaya magtrabaho, yun, binibigyan na sila ng pension ng government para kahit di na sila nagtatrabaho dahil mahihina na, meron pa rin silang nakukuhang pera. The last one is the inclusive growth. So, is economic growth that created opportunity for all segments of the population and distributes the dividends of increasing prosperity in both monetary and non-monetary terms fairly across society. So, the gap between rich and poor has enlarged, increasing inequality in earnings and in wealth. Recognizing these concerns will result in more arguments that would raise awareness with the inclusive growth. So, inclusive growth, it is to strike a balance between economic and sustainable development. So, instead of focusing only on the economic outcomes, so inclusive growth focuses more on equity. So, it facilitates the stability and development of the global economy. In addition to that, it focuses overall development of the individuals. So this concern says that fruits of growth should reach the poorer section to the society. So everyone should receive what others receive. So yun lang.